I guess there's nothing like getting back with an old flame. Atari and Namco are back together as the power couple of retro gaming. Let's get into it. So I received an email this morning from Atari telling me about a new version of the 2600 Plus that they got, and 4 new games. Well, not exactly new games. 1 new game, and 4 re-implementations. First off, let's check out that console. This is the Pac-Man version of the 2600 Plus. So it looks like they're working with Namco to get the license for some of these older games and titles. Pac-Man, Dig Dug, Xevious, and of course the greatest arcade game of all time in Galaga. But they're taking that Pac-Man license and they are merging it in with their 2600 Plus. So it looks like they're taking a 2600 Plus, the 4-switch model there, but they're giving it a makeover Pac-Man style. It's got the yellow, it's got the ghosts in front. Looks like that's going to light up. Super cool, right? And also, look at this joystick. Wireless, of course, because who does wires anymore, am I right? Oh, but that's pretty cool that they have the matching joystick to go along with this new 2600 Plus. Well, I guess not really new. I am hoping, though, obviously, if they ship these out, they're going to have the updated firmware, so it's compatible with all the different games. So if you don't have a 2600 Plus yet, what it is pretty much like an old school 2600, or 7800 rather, because it plays the old cartridges from your original Atari, as well as the 7800 ones. And so far, they have sold 2 different versions of this 2600 Plus system, the OG Woody, as well as the 7800 style. And these are really cool because they hook up with HDMI, so with newer TVs, and it looks just nice and clear, and it plays just a lot easier than trying to hook up your old stuff to a CRT. Of course, there's nothing quite like that feel, but this is just, it just makes it a lot more convenient for modern gamers, I guess, to play the old school stuff. Like I said, I already got the 2600 and the 7800, so as much as I really, really want this model, because I think this looks really cool, I'm not going to grab it. It's going to be $169 is what it's looking like. If I didn't have one already, this would be an absolute must-buy. If they somehow came out with a Pitfall version, though, that would be all over that no matter the price, right? But $170 for a pretty much an Atari that hooks up to your HDMI TV. A little pricey, but it does come with a game, and a new game at that. This is actually pretty interesting right here. It comes with Pac-Man Double Feature. So this will have the original 2600 version of Pac-Man. Yeah, not exactly enticing anybody there. I know. No one's breaking the bank to get a copy of that game. I mean, anytime you buy like a bundle of Atari games, you're going to find a copy of that in there, right? But the fact that it also has a new version of Pac-Man, not yet seen, on that cart, that's really cool. And that actually makes it a bit more tempting. And that brings us to the other bit of news that I saw with Atari, and that is they've got 4 new games coming out. Well, 4 old games and that double feature. Kind of funny that along with this new 2600 Plus, the games that are being released alongside it are games that are originally for the Atari 7800. That is Dig Dug, Xevious, and Galaga. Plus that new Pac-Man double feature. And it looks like they're coming out as a set, which is pretty cool. You know, you'll have your collector's edition box and whatnot. So awesome kudos there. And these are really good games. Really good arcade conversions. Dig Dug is pretty solid. It plays extremely well. I don't know, I think it's better than the NES version. Call me crazy. Now, Xevious is a game I kind of have a love-hate relationship with it. I kind of hate it, but I want to like it, and I always give it a try. You will need the 2-button controller, though, for Xevious, because just that 1 button on the joystick is not going to work. I guess you can adjust the settings so that you get your bombs and your bullets firing at the same time, but I don't know. It's not quite Xevious then, right? And lastly, Galaga. Now, this is one that splits a lot of people. Some people don't like this conversion. The pixels don't look quite right. The first 10 stages are pretty easy, but then the challenge level just skyrockets. Personally, though, I love this version. Obviously, nothing is going to beat the arcade version of it, but I think this is my favorite home port of it. I like it better than the NES one. I think it looks better. I think it plays very well, and you can do the dual plane trick, which is, you know, one of the best parts of Galaga. As well as that Pac-Man double feature that's going to be on there. Again, Pac-Man is not a terrible game on the 2600. Yes, that version's on there. I think Atari's been watching me since I just came out with that Pac-Man clones video a little bit ago, and they're trying to capitalize on that. That's got to be it, right? I personally don't think that the 2600 version of Pac-Man is as bad as a lot of people say. It just definitely did not live up to the hype that was Pac-Man. Made another little video on that a long time ago too. I'll post some links down below if you want to check those videos out. What else are you doing with your life, right? Of course you got more time for Pac-Man. So the 4-pack includes, again, 4 great games. Well, I'm assuming that Pac-Man one's going to be great. If they've had this long to work on it, it should be decent, right? Problem is, though, it is $170 as well. That's a little expensive. That's over $40 a game, so a little bit pricey. I would be more tempted if I didn't already have copies of Xevious, Dig Dug, and Galaga. But like I said, if you don't have copies, this might be a great opportunity to pick up those games. And speaking of those 7800 games, I think my copies of Circus Atari and Tiger Heli are supposed to arrive today, so I'm looking forward to checking those out. And I should have some reviews on those later on in the week. And on top of that, they got more content for Atari 50. I don't know, watching the old clips and interviews and things is just super interesting for me, and I just get a kick out of it to hear these guys talk about what it used to be like. So anyway, exciting times at Atari. Looking forward to playing. Tell me, are you guys excited about the Namco Atari collaboration? I think it's pretty cool. Are you excited about any of these games? Anyway, thanks for listening to me. This is Coach Troy. I will see y'all next time.